What's up guys, my name is Karol and welcome to Ads Courses, a channel where you can learn the best digital marketing secrets and web analytics tricks. Today I will show you how to use data blending option in Google Data Studio so that you will be able to mix different data sources and create advanced reports or dashboards. If you want to watch more tutorials like that, don't forget to click the subscribe button. Okay, so let's begin. Before I show you how to use data blending option in Google Data Studio, let's talk about how it all works. And if you're familiar with SQL programming language, you definitely know what outer left join is. And this is exactly how the data blending in GDS works. So it takes all the data from table A and combine it with the common data from table B. And the blending data is possible when you have a so-called key join. And a key join is simply a common dimension in both data sources. So if you have two different data sources, every one of them have to have this one common dimension. And the most obvious key join could be a date, for example. Now I will show you how to use the data blending option in GDS. Data blending option is a great feature, and there are endless possibilities when it comes to combining data from different data sources. And in this tutorial, I will show you 3 different examples. In first example, I will combine data from Google Sheets and combine it with Google Analytics data. So here I have this very simple example of a Google Sheets spreadsheet file with dates and emails. This is just a simple example, and these are the emails that were sent in this date. And I want to combine this data with Google Analytics data and see how these emails affected my traffic. And I can easily combine these two data sets using the data blending option. So here I am in my Google Data Studio account, and let's create a new blank report. And first of all, you need to select the base data source. So let it be this Google Analytics data, and let's add it to report. And after you do this, you can see that this menu changed a little bit, and you can simply go to the resource and manage blended data. And here you can create a new blended data set. And what you need to know is that blended data sets are only available on a report level. So when you create a blended data set, it's only visible in this report. And if you want to copy the blended data, there is a simple trick. Simply copy the elements of the report page and paste it to the other report. Okay, so let's create a blended data set. So let's select the first data source, the Google Analytics. And right now you can add another data source, and you can add up to 5 data sources on one table. Okay, so we have our Google Analytics data source, and let's select our file. This is our file, the spreadsheet that I previously shown. And you can't actually create a new data source on this level. To do this, you would actually need to close this. I will just show you and go to the resource and manage added data sources. And here you can add a new data source. So for example, let's add this Google Sheets. And here's my file. So let's connect this and let's add this to report. Now again, let's go to the manage blended data and let's add new blended data. So let's select the Google Analytics data source and the file. So this is the file. Okay, so now you need to select the join keys. And in this example, it would be a date, because in both data sources, there is date dimension. And it actually automatically selected the same dimension in the second data source. So now you need to add metrics from this data source. So for example, I want to see sessions with email sends from the second data source. So let's just select the sessions from Google Analytics data source. And you could add more, of course, and you can have more than one join key dimensions in here. This is just a simple example, so we'll go with sessions from the first data source, and in the second one, let's select the emails. And you can actually add filters or Google Analytics segments in here if you want to. And here you put a name of your data source, so it'll be a blended data, Google Analytics with, okay, and let's save it. Now you can close this window and we can add a chart, for example. So let's select time series. Okay, let's expand this. And now we need to change the data source to blended data that we just created in here. Okay, so let's change the settings of this table and we can add the dimensions. and here it will be the date because this is the join key. And let's add metrics. So let's go with sessions and emails. Okay, right now you can't actually read much from this report, so let's change the axis. Okay, so I can see that I've selected the wrong Google Analytics account when I created the blended data. So let's just fix this. And you can select this in here and change it. Okay, now let's save this and close. Okay, so this is a proper data set, and you can simply see how my email sends affected my traffic on my website. Now I will show you a different example combining Google Analytics data with YouTube Analytics data. Okay, so let's create this within the same report. So we will just add a page because you can have multiple blended data sources within the same report. Okay, so let's go to the resource. And first of all, you need to add Google Analytics account and your YouTube Analytics account. I've already did this, so I will just go to the Manage Blended Data and let's create a new data. So here I have the tutorial Google Analytics account, and let's add another one here, and this will be the YouTube Analytics account. Okay, so let's select the join keys, and this will be the date again. Now let's add some metrics in here. So let's go with the sessions, for example. Let's add new users, and you can add actually way more than this. I will stick up with these two. Okay, so now let's add this metrics over here in the second data source, and let's select the views. Let's add subscriptions. Okay, let's name this and let's save this. Okay, we can close this window now, and let's create a chart. Let's expand this, and let's change the data source to our blended data source, this one. Okay, so now let's select the dimension, the date, and the metrics, which will be, for example, sessions from Google Analytics and views from YouTube Analytics. Okay, let's go to the style to make it more clear. Okay, so now we can see our sessions from Google Analytics combined with views from YouTube Analytics within the same chart. Great. Okay, so let's create another one just to show you. So let's copy this chart and let's select like user subscription added and combine it with like new users from my webpage, because I actually publish the videos on my website, and you can see this data combined in here. Now I will show you the last example where I will combine Google Analytics data with Google Search Console data. Okay, so let's add another page. And let's go to the resource, manage blended data again, and let's create a new data in here. So we'll select the Google Analytics, and here I have okay, here it is, Search Console account. Let's add this, let's add join keys, date again, and let's add metrics. So let's go with the users, sessions, and from Google Search Console, let's select clicks, average position, and for example, impressions. Okay, so let's give it a name and save. Okay, let's close this now, and let's quickly add a chart in here. For example, a bar chart. And let's change the source to our blended data source. Okay, let's select the date as dimension and metrics. So here I want to compare my users with impressions from Google Search Console. So let's select the users from Google Analytics and impressions from Google Search Console. And let's sort it by date. Let's just go to the style and select double axis so it will be more clear. Right, this is just an example. You could visualize it as time series, of course. So let's delete this one. Okay. Okay, let's go to the style and let's select the right axis. And you can see my impressions from Google Organic with users from Google Analytics. And of course, you could add a filter because let's say I want to see only users from Google Organic in this table. So let's edit this in the blended data. This is my blended data. And let's add a filter in here. It will be only Google Organic. Let's save this now. And we have this filter over here. So this will only include our Google Analytics data only from Google Organic. So let's save this now and let's close this now. So almost nothing changed here because on this website traffic is almost only from Google Organic. Okay, so let's show another example. I want to compare my users or my sessions, for example, from Google Analytics with average position from Google Search Console. Okay, so you could easily do this right now with blended data. And of course, you can use the calculated data with a data blending option. So let's do this now. Let's, for example, add this scorecard in here. And let's say I want to calculate the percentages of my users divided by the impressions from Google Search Console. So it will be something like my CTR from Google Organic, just an example. So let's do this now. Let's change it to our blended data source and let's add a metric. So let's create a new one and let's name it a CTR Organic. And let's write our formula. So let's say users divided by impressions. Okay, so these are the two different metrics from different data sources. And it will be a percentages. And let's click apply. And this will be an average. Okay. And let's just delete this empty metric and it should be fine. Okay, so this is my organic CTR. So this is how you use data blending option in Google Data Studio. Okay, so now you know how to blend data from different sources in Google Data Studio. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment under this video. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're hungry for more digital marketing knowledge, and see you in my other videos.